Let's get started. Here we are at the Foo Bar in Berlin, getting ready to start Fast Forward. We have customers, we have partners, and a few surprises in store. Come on, let's get it started. Arlene, are we ready to go?
Yeah, ready.
All right, let's take it on. Welcome to Fast Forward. I am so excited to be here with you all. We've evolved quite a bit since our founding days here in Berlin. Almost a decade ago, Sasha and Paolo set out to make it easier for developers to manage content across multiple platforms. Today, we're a composable content platform helping thousands of brands reimagine the way they compose and connect content in order to deliver customer experiences at scale. In our digital-first world, no matter the size or type of business, content is the customer experience. You interact through content, you differentiate through content, and you win through content. That might be at a sporting event, on a piece of exercise equipment, or even buying a pair of glasses. It's these experiences that surround us all day and everywhere, and it's content that sits at the center of the customer relationship with every single interaction. To build customer relationships successfully, businesses today need content to be infinitely composable, easily adapting to new challenges and the accelerated pace that the market demands. This means reshaping how teams creating and delivering content get their jobs done. Bringing composable content to life means empowering people to work the way they need to work, realizing efficiencies, and creating content experiences that truly change the game. Today, some of our Contentful leaders will share with you how we see the future of digital-first content, how our customers and partners are making it a reality, and how Contentful will continue to help businesses build what's next. Let's get inspired, let's get creative, and let's get connected. So with that, I want to turn it over to our CMO, Amy Kilpatrick. She is herself a builder, someone who has created compelling and successful digital experiences with composable content. So with that, come on up, Amy.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. So I have a question. What is content? It seems like a very simple question on the surface, but the answer is really not so simple anymore. You probably thought of copy, images, videos when I asked that question, and all of those are considered content. Content that's typically created for the specific channel for where it's supposed to be delivered. For most, content originated in print form. Think books, magazines, newspapers, marketing collateral. It was static, targeted, and quite simple. Then the web emerged along with other content types. More specifically, digital content that is delivered across various channels independently. And as technology continued to evolve, customer journeys continue to become more and more complex, all while new content was continually added to the mix. Web apps, mobile apps, social content, YouTube videos, the list really goes on and on. But it's hard to create consistent experiences for your customers when your content is locked in silos, especially given the urgency that today's business landscape absolutely requires. Developers continue to face the challenge of managing, connecting, and delivering all of this content behind the scenes. And content creators like content strategists and writers, and even business leaders from technology and marketing, such as myself, are all tasked with driving business performance and truly differentiating the customer experience. All of which can be somewhat limited by legacy technical infrastructure, operating models, or lack thereof, and even team structures. Content truly is the most valuable asset of any customer experience, impacting every area of an organization. And the days of creating content in isolation for a single purpose and for a single channel have truly passed. A digital-first, customer-first approach demands a content-rich experience at every single touch point, helping to drive engagement, differentiation, and ultimately business performance. And with more and more digital channels emerging every single day, it is time to transform how content is defined, created, delivered, and managed, providing developers, content creators, and business leaders alike the foundation to deliver content at the speed and flexibility today's environment absolutely requires, and also delivering value immediately. So how can businesses manage the complexity of composable content and the impact to the customer experience? Through a composable content platform. A platform that empowers teams to work independently, but also in coordination with each other, increasing efficiency and giving them the freedom to build what they and their customers love. A platform that easily adapts to customer expectations and business requirements, thanks to the inherent flexibility of composable architecture. And a platform that reignites what content means for businesses and customers. As a previous Contentful customer and a marketing leader, I fully understand the need for increased flexibility and speed to market. By implementing the right technologies and operating models, you're able to increase efficiencies and unlock so much value for your businesses and customers. So now I'm really excited to chat with a couple of our partners today. Stuart Hobbs and Stuart Barr from Splendid Unlimited are going to join us today to talk about how they are building amazing digital experiences with their customers. So let's please welcome them. Hey, thank you. Thank you. So thank you both so much for joining us today. I would love for us to start with you both telling us a little bit about yourselves, your roles, and Splendid Unlimited.
So I'm Stuart Hobbs. I'm the Strategic Partner Manager for Splendid Unlimited.
And I'm Stuart Barr. I'm a development lead at Splendid.
Splendid Unlimited is part of the Unlimited Group. We are an agency group based in London. We've got 4 different pillars within the business, and obviously Splendid is the experience division.
That's great. So can you tell us a little bit about your roles specifically in terms of how you're working with customers? Because we have so many different roles, right? And if you think about the folks that are involved in working with our technology, so I think that's helpful if we can dig in a little bit more there.
Sure. So I suppose our engagement with clients always begins with kind of user focus. So we'll do discovery with clients where we'll really try and kind of tease out the business problems that they're trying to solve. A key part of that is trying to understand the key performance indicators that will indicate that that business is succeeding, right? And once we understand that, we'll begin to map out kind of user experiences and user journeys that will include ways to measure those KPIs so that when we finish and launch an experience, we have a way to kind of measure the success of that and make sure that we're building effective solutions.
Oh, that's great. And what kind of customers are you working with? Are there specific types or are they all over?
Oh, they're all over. I mean, we work in a lot of different sectors, from fintech through to automotive is a big one, obviously, BMW and Mini with yourselves, as well as obviously retail. So it is quite a vast mix.
So a lot of different use cases there. Okay. So you mentioned about BMW Mini. Can you share a little bit more about how you've worked with them and some of the projects that you've developed with them?
BMW came to us because they were looking to kind of re-platform from their existing CMS. BMW in the UK have a network of about 150 different retailers where obviously you can go and kind of test drive a new car. And each of those retailers has their own website. And the retailers are staffed with people who are obviously kind of people who sell cars and are not necessarily web savvy people, but they have websites that they need to keep up to date and going to make sure they're relevant for the local audience. So BMW had found that the existing CMS was actually not really helping those retailers do that local job. Really because there were like too many options and it was a little bit of a daunting experience for the people using the system. We thought that Contentful would be a great platform for them because for those people who are used to creating digital assets like marketing promos and great campaign shots, they still have all the bells and whistles that they need to create beautiful experiences.
Oh, that's great. And so we talk about those digital experiences. And so in this digital first world, how do you define the importance of content and especially composable content?
Well, I think there's sort of two things. Firstly, websites always need kind of refreshing. So you're in this kind of regular cycle where perhaps every 2 years, whether it's like through brand expression or maybe the technology has changed, you actually need to go back and revisit the website, right? But you've invested tons of time in the content that all lives there, and it's what you want to avoid is any protracted migration, right? So having a platform like Contentful that all that content lives in is really valuable because it means you're free to do whatever you like with the front end, and you don't have to reinvest your time in kind of migrating across. But also, everybody who's involved in creating digital content, if they're doing it to a single platform, then it means you've got one hub for lots of different multi-channel experiences, so newsletters, in-store marketing and all of that kind of thing.
So a question for you both. What do you see as the opportunity and advantage of composable content?
We spoke about kind of local retailers being given an interface that was very simple for them, that was focused on the job that they need to do. And I think one of the things that the app framework gives you is the ability to solve those individual business problems in exactly the right way for that group of users who are going to be using the system. And when we kind of look at the kind of new things that are coming down the line that will enable us to integrate, kind of lots of other best of breed solutions for different business needs, whether that be kind of personalization or e-commerce. And if you have your Headless CMS platform as the foundation stone to all of that, so those users can see the information they need supplemented with the information that's coming from these other kind of platforms all in one place. I think that's it's a key.
It's definitely the evolution of being able to plug and play,
and
being able to mix and match, best of breed, to be able to take it further forward.
So why do you think this is the right approach to help create dynamic customer experiences?
I think Headless takes the handbrake off the designers, right? So a lot of traditional CMSs are actually quite prescriptive about what you can do to kind of create experiences. So like having that freedom for the UX folk to kind of really kind of go to town is great. Because we've taken technology out of their way. So lots of clients at the moment are kind of coming to us and saying that they are in a position where they're kind of looking at all of these other kind of great solutions, like point solutions that do like a function brilliantly, and being in a position where they can lay the foundation with kind of Contentful to do kind of the CMS part, but then pull in like kind of best of breed partners to do kind of personalization and kind of all of the other kind of digital pieces, means that they can expand their offering iteratively, right? They don't have to make a huge investment up front. They can kind of get started with one thing and then kind of evolve over time.
It's definitely the evolvement. With the monolith of the way it's been previously, where it's a big, all-encompassing, trying to get everything done, dusted in such a long and protracted time. The advantage being is to get one thing sorted and then move on, so they can evolve. Definitely.
Yeah, and it helps them go so much faster.
Yeah.
Too. And I've been down those paths where on those huge projects that can take anywhere from 6 to 14 months or so. Yeah, to get there.
Certainly with BMW and Mini. So BMW and Mini are actually kind of owned by the same group, by the BMW group. So with our project with BMW, that kind of took place over about kind of a 9-month period, but obviously that was kind of we're doing the UX and evolving the UI and creating the design patterns and so on. But then when we came to do Mini, Mini's quite a different brand, kind of more fun and kind of expressive.
Yeah, very playful brand, which is very differs from because there's only 8 models, where obviously there are 46 models on the BMW, so it becomes very different.
We found that the patterns and kind of modules that we'd created for the BMW solution meant that we could really accelerate the kind of rollout across Mini, and so we were able to kind of complete that rollout in a matter of weeks, really.
And massively different in the 2 designs of the sites, but all based upon obviously the same templates, so which made things a lot easier.
That's great. So it gave them the flexibility to kind of stretch their design to really support their brand's visual identity.
Yeah, especially Mini.
Yeah.
It's obviously very, very playful.
Yeah, that's great. So Stuart B., how do you enable human experiences through technology?
So everything for us begins with kind of that user experience discussion. So we'll really try and get to the heart of the problem that you're trying to solve. And then when we understand the problem and how that's going to impact your KPIs, then we'll kind of turn around and look at the technology that will help in that particular circumstance.
And obviously the group, I mean, our group is underpinned by what we call the Human Understanding Lab, which is 120 PhDs around the marketing segment. So obviously, putting the human always within the centre of it. So obviously we're working back for the user and also working back working forward for the customer.
Yeah, no, that's one of our Contentful, one of our main core values is always start with the customer and work backwards. So when you look back at the project, which sounds like an amazing one to be part of with BMW, what were some of the initial results that you've seen from the implementation, post-implementation?
Yeah, post-implementation was really good. We saw great results in real-time test drive, where they went up by 45%. Contact Us was up by 61%. And also finance quotes coming in as well were up by about 45% as well.
That's
so
amazing.
It was really, really good. The big one, which kind of was accessories as well. They saw a lot more accessory inquiries than they really expected. It was up about 150% from what they had before. So really good start.
And I think there was also a lot of feedback from kind of the user community, right? So the people who actually had to create the content just loved, kind of the new experience because it was simple. They could easily understand what they needed to do, and it kind of took out that, kind of daunting aspect of which button do I press? What should I do?
Yeah. So, did their workflows change and their operating models internally, or how did that go?
So the way our relationship works with BMW, we have like a quite a big team in the Unlimited group who look after the content. And they kind of produce the materials that are, kind of all the brand campaign materials and high quality images and stuff that are centrally distributed to kind of these retailers. And obviously they are now able to kind of execute much more quickly, right? So I think it's been that there's kind of less duplication in the work that they have to do.
Oh yeah.
And kind of it's certainly led to kind of they're much happier with the speed at which they're able to get their ideas out to market.
And within that, obviously, we created a fixed, flexible and free. So obviously the fixed piece was obviously for the brand identity and everything for BMW or for Mini. Then it was the flexible area where they could actually put their own offers within there and tailor their own finance, and a completely free space, which means they can actually play with it as well. So it made it very easy for the content providers to go in and edit stuff.
No, that's great. Do you have any idea in terms of that speed do you have any idea how much that helped them from their previous technologies to post implementation with you both?
We know that they were obviously, very scared and very skeptical about how quickly they could change stuff and get stuff done on the old platform. Where now, obviously, they find because of it's obviously segmented in the fixed and flexible, so it meant that they could actually get in quite quickly. I don't know whether we had any metric on it, did we?
I'm not sure we have metric, but certainly, if they come to us with a new idea about that they want to try, then obviously we can, kind of test that on the platform. So we integrate, kind of our A/B testing partner as well, and then depending on the data, we can, kind of implement, kind of those successful changes in a matter of days rather than, kind of weeks or months long projects.
Yeah,
So
that testing and iteration is so important. And it's hard when you when it used to take months to do that kind of stuff. So I love hearing that now you can really test, optimize, and iterate super quickly and as needed.
yeah, it's been a little bit of a revolution, I guess, for them.
So earlier I was talking about kind of this future, I was talking about the evolution of content from where it started and how we're evolving. So where are you both? How are you excited about the future for composable content, and what are you looking forward to?
I think the advantage is just being able to utilize stuff in one place and multiple facets. I think we're seeing that customers love the fact that they can get on stuff really quickly, and really not have so many difficulties in trying to find or have double stuff. So it's definitely about the ease of it, really.
I think as a software developer, it's just meant that it's taken away a whole bunch of headaches, right, in that process. So instead of having to worry about kind of standing up databases and look after them, patch them, and all of that kind of thing, it's now just taken care of for you, and you can focus on, kind of solving the business problem and kind of making customers happy. So that's great.
That's great. I really, and I know the audience here does as well, appreciate you both coming to spend time with us today. I know I've personally loved learning more about your perspectives and also the project with BMW Mini. So we really, really thank you for coming here today.
Thanks ever so much for having us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mairead, our Chief Product Officer, and she's going to talk about how we are continuing to evolve our composable content platform. Thank you, Mairead.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Splendid. It's always awesome to hear how partners such as Splendid are using Contentful and how they're rethinking the role of content in their organization. Customer experiences have changed dramatically. They need to be dynamic, diverse, and effortless. But to people who create these experiences, it's incredibly hard. It's time to unlock the power of digital content. So what does this mean? It's all about enabling developers to deliver content anywhere in the most efficient and composable manner, to empower creators and marketers to edit and compose content at an accelerated pace, to ultimately create amazing experiences. If you think about it, here's a simple example of a digital experience. But developers face incredible challenges today in bringing all of these elements of the experience together. Developers have to bring content together which resides across many different places. They need to be able to collaborate across many different folks and work across many different tools towards delivering an amazing customer experience. For example, builders have to think about which device and in which region. They have to think about the marketing copy, the headlines, the images that match the description, the pricing data, what currency needs to be displayed, who is the customer information, A/B testing and personalization, the third-party integrations such as the e-commerce payment processing, as well as the search capabilities. It's incredibly hard and time-consuming to bring all of this together. Teams today work across content that is siloed, and they themselves are siloed. Builders are buried under requests and are spending a crazy amount of time creating workarounds to bring these disconnected silos together into simple experiences. Content teams and marketers and other creators can't iterate and refine the content at the pace they want in order to serve their customers. So when we say we want to unlock the power of digital content, we want to cut through this complexity and inefficiency, making it easier to connect, create, and extend content experiences to deliver faster. Orchestrating and composing content across many different regions, brands, and teams. Making the creation and iteration of content smoother and faster by providing content teams with easy-to-use tools to edit and launch content autonomously in an integrated workflow in order to get new content in front of the right people at the right time. enabling flexibility and extensibility through an ecosystem of apps, integrations, and partners to meet any business or customer needs. We've been working incredibly hard to get there, and by no means are finished on this new journey. I'm excited to say we have several new capabilities we're announcing today to make this composable content a reality. Realizing a fully composable content vision starts with a strong foundation. And to unveil how we're enabling that, I'll have Paolo to walk us through some of the exciting new capabilities. Welcome, Paolo.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mairead.
Paolo.
Thank you, Mairead, and hi, everyone. Mairead laid out our vision to help everyone who contributes to digital experiences do their jobs better. Mairead mentioned the importance of connecting siloed content repositories to increase speed to market and realize operational agility. It's easier said than done. How will you free your words and images from traditional silos? How will you connect to the outside ecosystem to create differentiated experiences? How will you nurture collaboration across departments and geographies? Finally, how will you customize everything for the way your team builds? When teams of developers, architects, writers, and designers want to create and ship new content for a campaign, the launch of a new product or a new brand, there is a lot of work that each one of them has to contribute and a lot of collaboration that needs to happen. Even publishing a blog post can be a multidisciplinary operation. If you look at the teams within an organization, legal, marketing, sales, customer success, each has their own content needs. Each create content, but all deliver the content under the same brand, usually in the same experience. These present several problems. Connecting and piecing together content from different sources is typically a process with a lot of bottlenecks and manual tasks. Even when content structure is managed programmatically, it can require significant engineering efforts to write and maintain migration scripts. As if it weren't complex enough, more complexity arises because now people need to collaborate across functions. And often, this collaboration involves using different communication channels, tools, which make the process hard and prone to breaking. That's how digital production slows to a crawl and businesses can't achieve their goals. So, as we see more and more businesses embrace the composable approach, we want to remove the typical operational challenges they might face. Our new orchestration capabilities enable teams to launch and scale new digital experiences faster and consistently. To show you what this looks like inside of Contentful, I will hand it over to Artas. Welcome, Artas.
Thank you, Paolo. Creating a world-class digital experience requires careful focus and relentless execution. And in this demo, we'll show you how orchestration features help teams excel at these skills. To make things more tangible, I'll use the website of a made-up bank called Colorful Coin. Take a look. On the outside, it might feel like a singular website. It uses consistent design and messaging, has unified navigation, and adapts content based on the visitor's location. Behind the scenes, however, there are multiple teams at work: marketers and developers, customer success and lawyers, partner agencies and country teams. They all contribute content and have a stake in the website. So how can we help them succeed? If we set up a shared workspace for them, many users might feel overwhelmed with irrelevant content or slowed down by bloated workflows. If we opt for dedicated spaces, teams will suffer from the usual problems of siloed content, things like inconsistent messaging and duplicated efforts. That's where content orchestration comes into the play. Take a look at this space. It's been set up to do just one thing: to host legal content. Lawyers come in, create a policy, get it reviewed, and publish it. Simple as that. Now let's switch to a different space. That's where the marketing team creates content and manages overall look and feel of the website. For example, the entry that I have opened lets editors manage the footer, including the ability to add legal policies to the website. This is content created by lawyers sitting in a different space, and yet it's available for marketers to use wherever they need it. Let's try this trick one more time, but this time with marketing content. Think of entries containing product descriptions, promotional banners, or customer testimonials. While this content is produced in the marketing space, it is also available inside spaces used by other teams. For example, here you see the editor adding this content to a help article. All of this is possible thanks to the new orchestration feature we call cross-space references. These references let teams instantly share content across the organization without worrying about unwanted changes or accidental deletions. The ability to share content starts breaking down content silos. But to truly accomplish this goal, content creators also need to share the right context. With this in mind, take a look at the homepage of a space used by the growth team. You can see the latest entries the user edited, but more interestingly, you can also see recently published entries from other spaces. It gets even better. This customized homepage lets you search across all the connected spaces, much like you would search Wikipedia for relevant articles. Found an interesting entry? You can open it for closer inspection or a quick dose of inspiration. With a tool like that, assembling pages from multiple sources becomes extremely easy. Not only can editors pull entries created by others, they can also locate the most relevant content in a matter of seconds. We built a customized page using two new features of the app framework. First, you can take over the homepage of a Contentful web app and display your own content there. Think tutorials, org charts, style guides, and other useful resources. And secondly, the app framework now allows you to build cross-environment apps. In addition to all the usual features, such apps make it easy to bring content and metadata from multiple spaces into one view. So that's how orchestration will look for users creating content. Next, let's turn to developers and see how these features will transform their jobs. To start with, let's take a look at how a typical developer, let's call them Kelly, builds and deploys new features on the Contentful platform. Kelly starts by cloning the main environment, giving them a private copy of a setup powering the actual website, much like a Git branch would. Once Kelly builds and tests the new feature, it's time to merge back the changes. In the past, Kelly would probably write a migration script to insert changes into the main environment, and that would take some time to do. Today, they can install the merge app and achieve the same result by reviewing and merging the changes directly in the web app. And by the way, just like the example of a custom homepage I showed earlier, the merge app uses cross-space capabilities behind the scenes. All right, so the new feature is ready to launch, but it lives inside the space used by the development team. How can we deploy it to spaces used by other teams? Enter content model templates. We figured if we can easily migrate content type across environments, why not use the same approach to propagate them across the entire organization? Templates let developers do two things. First, they can define collections of content types that belong together, and secondly, deploy them to a desired space. So Kelly promotes the updated content type to an existing template, and that instantly deploys it to the marketing, help, and growth spaces. All of that without writing a single line of code. Members of our early access program have reported that orchestration features reduce the time spent on maintaining content models by up to 95%. These are incredible numbers, and we believe that both developers and editors will see dramatic time savings from adopting these features. But the combination of the two will also change the way businesses launch new projects. Companies that maintain portfolio of products or are active in many markets worldwide will now have a way to spin up new applications in a much shorter time span. Let's see how that works in the context of a colorful coin organization. Say the organization decides to launch a dedicated website for the Australian market. They can now use a new launch playbook. Our developer Kelly deploys a default template for a marketing website into a new space. Inside the space, the customized homepage app helps users get educated on the basics of publishing and locate relevant content from other spaces. When creating pages, editors can use cross-space references to pull in existing content, and after that create content exclusive to Australia. And once the content is ready, Editors give it a preview to make sure things look good and schedule pages to go live at a desired time. And we are all done. In this demo, you saw how new orchestration features are set to change the way teams work within Contentful. Editors can effectively discover and share content across teams. Developers maintain consistency and agility while writing less code. And businesses can reduce the time it takes to launch new projects from weeks to days. All of the features I showed you are available today through our early access program. And over the coming months, we'll be working to bring them to all of our customers. We think you're gonna love them. Next, we have some exciting news for content creators. And I'll hand it over to Andrew to tell you all about it.
Thanks, Artes. Content creation for many teams means writers, designers, and others asking their engineers to do the actual content creation and edits in a content management system. Both teams are dedicated to delivering content, but the way they work together is a slow-moving waterfall of tasks. This leads to missed opportunities to reach customers with topical, fresh content because teams are bogged down by the manual, time-consuming process that it takes to get from composition to delivery. And the steps a piece of content needs to go through might be unclear, leaving teams to spend time figuring out who needs to do what to keep content flowing through an increasingly complex lifecycle. To realize the power of digital content, creation and maintenance needs to move from a developer task to a straightforward anybody can do it task. Content strategists, copywriters, designers, and all sorts of content creators need to feel confident and empowered to dream up and create content when and where they need it. And that's why we've created Contentful Studio. With Studio, content teams take the reins of creation. This new unified editorial workspace within Contentful makes adding new content, getting it through required steps, and into the right channel as easy as a few clicks. Let me show you how it works. For the purpose of this demo, I'm the digital marketing manager for an e-commerce brand called Colorful Lifestyle. And we're getting our website ready for this year's Black Friday campaign. This campaign will add new landing pages, promotional banners, and it needs to go live at just the right time, not a minute too soon or too late. We've been using Contentful to manage our website and mobile apps for a while, so we know how to make changes to content like pages and product details that are managed in Contentful. With Studio, we've started using approval workflows to keep track of all of our content. My team and I have been hard at work writing, designing, and setting up our new landing pages in Studio. There's still one that needs content review, so I'm going to open this page called Women's Black Friday Sale in Studio. From here, I can see all the content and images that the team has assembled. The nice thing about Studio is that it is a single-page editing experience. It's still structured content, but the copywriter doesn't need to know how the content model works. They mostly need to fill in the blanks, composing the content for the experience they want to create. One of the exciting new tools we've been using lately is Writer. It's an app that checks grammar, word choice, and adherence to our new style guide. And I can run it directly within Studio to make sure everything is on brand and well written. Along with the content itself, we use Studio to manage our SEO and social media assets. And to prevent content from getting mixed up with metadata, we've put them into separate tabs here, one for SEO and another one for social media. I can see here that the writer misspelled Friday in this one meta tag, so I'll fix that one quickly myself. After I've reviewed this page in detail, I can open a preview from right here in Studio. This opens a new browser window with all of the changes in process and lets me make sure the campaign will look just right. The page is looking great to me, so I'm going to change the workflow status to the next step, which is called Ready to Publish. These workflow steps are all fully configurable, from the names to the permissions and the notification methods. In fact, I came here today because I got an email notification that this page is ready to review. There's also a dashboard that provides a simple overview of all the content in progress and which step it's in. Now that all of the content is ready for publishing, I'm going to open this Black Friday release that I've already set up to publish all of the Black Friday content together. The release includes the 3 pages that we want to update, and I'll show you how easy it is to add the page I was just working on. One thing that's new in Studio is that you can simply add a page to a release without having to pick all of its references. And you can see that the workflow status of each of these pages is ready to publish, which is exactly what I want. Before I start publishing, I want to check that all of this content can be published in the first place. This validation process makes sure that all the required fields are filled out and that there aren't any content validations that will prevent these pages from publishing when the time comes. It looks like the validation passed, so I can schedule this release for Friday, the 25th of November at 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time. When that date arrives, all of this content will be published simultaneously. What I'm also going to do, because Black Friday doesn't last forever, is schedule this content to be unpublished on Monday the 28th at 12 midnight so that our Cyber Monday sale can take center stage on that day. One of the important benefits of Studio is that when a release date needs to change, it only needs to be updated once. If I wanted our Black Friday changes to be published a few hours earlier, I could just edit this publish event rather than going to change the time on each page or entry separately. And that's Contentful Studio. In one place, the marketing team can create content easily, make sure it gets reviewed and approved by the right people, and deliver it to customers at just the right time. Everyone who's responsible for creating and delivering content will benefit from this speed and simplicity that Studio provides. Studio is available to all customers today through our early access program. Just go to the Apps tab of Contentful, find Studio, and install it from there. We hope you and your content teams love it. Changing gears a bit, a composable platform is a great opportunity to engage with customers in unique and specific ways. But creating those experiences without a composable platform is challenging to say the least. So for one last time, over to you, Artis.
Contentful customers include some of the most innovative companies of today, as well as celebrated global brands. Satisfying product requirements that come from this unique combination of depth and scale isn't easy. But that's where our approach to building an open-ended platform truly shines. We built Contentful to be extensible by design, which lets our customers adapt the product to a wide range of use cases and business requirements. And in this section, I want to highlight 3 features that make it possible. First come our marketplace apps. These apps offer ready-to-use solutions for common business needs. Marketplace apps are built and maintained by our technology partners. And in the last year, we saw a big uptick in number of companies interested in connecting their platforms to Contentful. Here are some of the exciting recent additions to our marketplace. Writer app is an AI-powered grammar and style checker, which keeps your copy typo-free and on-brand. Commerce Layer lets teams create immersive front-ends that combine editorial storytelling with e-commerce capabilities. And Ninetailed brings a powerful personalization tool to our platform, letting editors personalize content and run A/B tests. And there'll be more. Our marketplace continues to grow and offer more out-of-the-box capabilities to Contentful customers. Another big trend we see among our users is building custom apps. Custom apps are meant to satisfy the unique needs of an individual team or a business. And today, more than half of our enterprise customers regularly use an app built on top of the app framework, indicating how robust the framework is. Let me give you 3 concrete examples of this. A European oil and gas company built an app for managing navigation on its websites and mobile apps. A North American gaming company built a catalog app that lets it add game title data to its pages. And a global media company built an app to add video highlights from sport events to its website pages. We see hundreds of such apps being built every month, and as we engage with the developers behind them, we look for ways to streamline the development process and amplify their reach. With these goals in mind, we shipped many new app framework features over the last year. The ones that stand out most include app actions that allow individual apps to link up and power complex workflows. Cross-environment support opens the doors for building apps that tie together multiple spaces. And our design library, Forma 36, gives you a chance to enhance our platform with features that look great, but also are fully accessible. We look forward to seeing what new use cases and projects those features will enable in the coming years. Finally, Contentful offers platform features like write APIs, webhooks, migration CLI, and time-saving developer tooling. This allows customers to go beyond solving content-specific problems and build composable applications that feel effortless to use. Take the example of Splendid Unlimited, who you heard a bit from earlier. They were tapped to develop a new digital platform for dealerships selling BMW and Mini cars in the United Kingdom. The agency took an interesting approach to the problem. They developed custom apps designed to help the BMW and Mini teams on one end and dealerships on the other to incorporate official marketing content into locally managed websites. And they used extensibility features to automate the setup and configuration of these websites. This delivery model allowed Splendid Unlimited to roll out 160 websites for BMW and an additional 140 sites for Mini, the latter going live in as little as 5 weeks. More importantly, the custom editing experience offered by the platform enabled editors with no technical background to create fresh and compelling content. Overall, the replatforming to Contentful resulted in an increase in test drive bookings, financing quotes, and contact us inquiries. The example of Splendid Unlimited shows how powerful is the combination of purpose-built apps and core extensibility features. Customers and partners who excel at this type of implementation will be the major players in creating composable experiences of tomorrow. If you're already using Contentful, we have a wealth of resources to get you started with building on top of the app framework. And if you are interested in becoming a partner, join our partner program. And now I will hand it back to Mairead.
We want to help customers unlock the power of digital content and give teams behind those experiences the ability to do that. Recently, we had the opportunity to talk to Moderna and Applied Digital about how they build with Contentful.
I joined Moderna in August of 2020. The pace at which the clinical teams were innovating was mind-blowing, and we needed to find a way to keep up with that pace. The reality was, in short order, we now had an emergency use authorization, and whether we liked it or not, we had to think about making sure that we had certain capabilities ready to ensure that our product could get out to the world, but also that those seeking information had access to information. We were a new commercial organization, so we didn't really have lots of processes. So it was taking a step back to understand that I truly wanted to build a future-ready organization. I also wanted to make sure that we brought in best of the breed, whether it's in terms of technology, whether it's in terms of partners, and even how we thought about collaborating as a team. So the search for a partner who could really come in and help push the thinking, could come in with a lot of thought leadership around the best technologies and how technology architecture was evolving. And then also just one who was, who shared same values at Moderna was important. And that was, how Applied came into the mix.
The choice still needed to be made. Are we what kind of platform is going to be accommodating for the kind of needs and requirements of the business? But it was such a unique case in that there was nothing there to begin with, right? And the firm belief that whatever we build needs to be completely scalable. Here's an organization who is going from 0 to 60 in less than a second, from 0 to 20 billion in revenue in the first year, and would need to stand up and support not just a North American infrastructure, but now in 20 odd countries around the world, around the globe. So there wasn't really a big choice at that point in time. It's like, well, we have to do this in a very flexible, very scalable fashion. Our relationship with Contentful goes back quite a few years. I think what was attractive in terms of these technologies that were coming out was just the pace, right? And what it would allow us to do very quickly and be able to not build something over a 12, 18, 24-month period and then be locked into that way of thinking.
Composable technology, and in its simplest form, allows us to respond and adapt to dynamic the changing needs of customers at the pace at which they're changing, right? So that's what we want to do. We don't want to be playing catch up. We want to have the ability to quickly anticipate, learn, and adapt. And that's essentially where we need to be in order to win the hearts, the minds, I would say, of our stakeholders.
I think what hopefully will happen is that digital experiences more broadly become much more holistic, much more personalized, because the technologies can enable that pretty much in real time. And I think a lot of companies, and we're seeing that, a lot of companies are also really becoming, taking a step up when it comes to their customer data. So, customer 360, really having that data organized in a way that allows those experiences to be seamless. So if you're interacting with a company or a brand on your mobile device, quickly picking up on that and, acting accordingly. So if you then visit on a website later that day, it's all connected and it's one seamless experience. And I think that's, it's always been the vision of our world, is like, how do we create these seamless customer experiences? But I think the technology is getting to a point now where we can actually make that a reality.
I think it all comes back to this idea of what does the customer need, when, how, and how quickly can we get it to them at that moment of need. And that's what we want to do with our, with our content technology and this composable content, is to have the ability to provide them with the right information at that most critical time. That's literally what we're looking to do.
Wow. First off, I want to thank our customers for joining us and our incredible product teams for all of the hard work on all of these exciting new capabilities. Our vision is to unlock the power of digital content, to give developers, content teams, and marketers, and all of the people behind an experience the ability to do that. Contentful, as a platform, will empower content orchestration, limitless creation, and composable content. And now I'm going to hand it over to Steve.
Amy, Mairead, Paolo, Artis, and Andrew, thank you so much for showing us the new capabilities. And to Stuart Hobbs and Stuart Barr, thank you for sharing what Splendid has built with Contentful and how you're raising the bar for digital experiences. Digital First puts content center stage in customer experiences. By building a composable content platform, we at Contentful are here to help businesses, from emerging digital businesses to the transforming enterprise, rethink the ways they connect, create, and extend content to deliver customer experiences more effectively and more efficiently. And to give the people behind the scenes more opportunities and tools to build what's next and to build what they love. That's why we built Contentful, the composable content platform. So now the only question is, what do you want the freedom to build next? Join us in person in the coming weeks. We'll be in Berlin, London, New York, and San Francisco to connect with each other, to learn more about our composable content platform, and more. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in person.